welcome back to my channel. I am Heather Tiedman and I'm a realtor down here in the beautiful South Carolina, powered by Century 21803 Realty. I got to put that in there. Today we're going to be talking about how to make it a smooth transition when moving to another state, from another state to South Carolina, and ways that could possibly make that easier for you, especially if you're planning on buying a house. I may sound a little funny. I am currently sick and I am locked in my house until tomorrow. So my voice is a little raspy, but that is okay. We're going to get through this video. Try to make the most of my time at home, getting all this out there. But before we get started, you know what I'm going to say. If you could like and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it so much. It really helps with the algorithm and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I specialize in relocations, people relocating from all over the country, outside the country, to South Carolina. And here's a few things that I think a lot of people don't know and may be helpful if you are planning to move here and you need some additional resources. So jumping right into this, the first one is going to seem pretty obvious, but it's figuring out where you want to live before you ever start your home search or ever start anything on this process. Researching those areas, coming to visit, actually seeing with your own eyes, you know, the different areas, the different towns, that genuinely really helps. And once you've narrowed it down to a town, if you can even narrow it down further to, you know, what part of town do you want to live in? Are there certain neighborhoods that you want to live in that enhance the lifestyle that you want to live? That genuinely truly helps, and it stops a lot of the anxiety of, well, I found this house over here. Well, now what is this area? Do I like this area? You know, what schools are zoned here? What about the crime and things like that? If you already know where you want to live, you can already narrow that search down pretty intensely, so you don't even have to worry about that going forward. You already have that nailed down. You can research these areas. You know, there's lots of great websites out there to find out this information. I run a Moving to Lexington, South Carolina group, as well as a Moving to Chapin, South Carolina Facebook group. Those are good resources. Even if you don't plan to move to Lexington or Chapin, I'm sure there's other groups like that out there. It's not an original idea. But going in there and asking questions and really genuinely knowing exactly what it is that you're looking for, and when it comes time to actually make that move, you're ready to go in that aspect. You've already done all the research. You already have nailed down exactly where you want to live. I know this seems obvious, but so many come here and there is a wide open field. From Somerville to Charlotte to Lexington to Greenville, those are all vastly different areas. So if you have already narrowed these down and you know where you want to live, you're not in 100 different locations. It really and truly helps. Number two, if you have a home to sell, wherever you're coming from, go ahead and get it on the market. Once you're ready to make the move, obviously. Because one, it's a little bit harder to get a sell and closing contingency accepted here. But two, even if you find a home and you have a sell and closing contingency, they can still market that home for sale and accept offers that do not have a sell and closing contingency if your home is not under contract and outside of its due diligence period. So definitely something that you want to get done sooner rather than later. Especially this comes into play if you're from a state that has extended closing times like New York. In South Carolina, generally speaking, if it's a financed home purchase, we can close within 30 days. But in New York, you know, it's 60 to 90 days, if not longer than that. So that's definitely something you want to go ahead and have taken care of, getting it on the market. That way, when you do find your dream home, you're not losing it because your house isn't for sale yet, even on the market yet. So just something to keep in mind. And I give you a little mindset, I guess, is the market is balancing out across the nation. So in some areas, it is taking a bit of time to actually sell a home when you list it. So if you're coming here and you're trying to buy a home and you have a sell and closing contingency, well, you put a home on the market, maybe it sells immediately and that's best case scenario. But what if it takes 3, 4, 5 months to get it under contract? That's why they allow them to continue to market it for sale and accept other offers that do not have a sell and closing contingency if your home is not under contract and outside of the due diligence period yet. So I highly recommend doing that sooner rather than later. That way, it's one less thing on your plate to worry about in the future. It makes it a much more streamlined process. And then it's much better to, have to stay in a short-term rental for a few weeks while you get your bearings than to lose out on your dream home because you didn't have your home on the market yet, if that makes sense. Number 3 is if you do need employment here and you plan on purchasing a home, get that employment lined up as soon as possible. It takes a little bit of time for our employers here to respond. So it could take a few weeks before you even get a call back to set up an interview, and then the interview may be a couple weeks after that. So if you need employment here, which if you're trying to get a loan and your only source of income is from employment, then you will need a job here. You don't have to start working here yet, but you will need to have a job offer letter with a salary and a start date in order to get that loan, if that makes sense. So I would start that pretty early, which leads me into number 4 of things that kind of start early, a lot earlier than you expect them to, because South Carolina is a much slower pace of living. And then we're also a fast growing area. So, supply and demand kind of thing. Go ahead and start if you have medical conditions that require you to see specialists, that require you to immediately have a doctor. Go ahead and start finding those doctors. Start getting on their calendar, because it could take you 2 to 3 months to get an appointment. So if you've already done that before you've moved here, then when you move here, you're ready to go. You're ready to rock and roll kind of thing. So definitely something to keep in mind there, especially if you're someone that, does need medical attention pretty regularly. Along with that, if you are someone that needs childcare, go ahead and start getting your name on wait list. I've said this in many, many videos because it's very important. So many people come here and they got the job, they got the house, but they can't find childcare. And now they're kind of stuck in this situation where what are they going to do? Because obviously they need childcare in order to work. So go ahead and get on those wait lists so you can move here, smooth transition. And we're going to keep going on to my next one. Number 5 is when you're ready to actually purchase a home here, but you're not here yet, it's highly recommended that, even if it's not me, I'll forgive you guys. Finding a realtor that understands relocations, that knows how to do virtual tours, because everything looks better in camera. It does. That understands how to explain things to you, that understands what questions are going to be asked from someone that's moving in from out of state, that has those answers readily available for you, that is used to communicating with your realtor from wherever you're coming from and coordinating that, who can write offers that are strong for people that are relocating, that may have that sell and closing contingency. That is going to be very, very important when you're moving here is to have someone that understands and works a lot in people relocating from other areas to here, because it will really help make that transition a lot smoother for you if you have someone that understands that. So number 6 is going to be making sure that you have all your important documents handy when you do move here. You've sold your house from where you were coming from, or you've left where you're coming from, and you've settled here in South Carolina. You're going to need those documents because you're going to be going to a new doctor's office. They're going to need all kinds of documents there. You're going to be switching over your car registration and your driver's license. They're going to need those there. You're going to be signing your kids up for school and daycare. They're going to need those important documents. Please keep those handy because those are very, very important. And I've seen where they've forgotten them, and they've had to drive all the way back or fly back to get these documents because, maybe they were kept in a secure location and they just forgot to bring them. So definitely something you want to keep on hand that you can easily access when you get here, because those are very important. Number 7 is going to be make sure that you make sure you apply for the legal residency tax rate if you purchase a home, because that is a very, very big difference in payment for those property taxes. It could be triple, if not quadruple, if you do not apply for that legal residency tax rate. If you live in your home in South Carolina, you are getting a pretty substantial cut on your property taxes. So you want to make sure that you've applied for that. So if you purchase a home in January, February, March, blah, blah, all the way up till December, you have until the end of the year to actually apply for the legal residency tax rate. I personally recommend doing it before October, which is when tax bills come out, and it just saves yourself a whole bunch of hassle if you do it before then. But just definitely something to keep in mind. You want to do that because it can cost you thousands of dollars. And if not thousands of dollars, it costs you a lot of time to fix it if you don't fix it in time. So definitely something you want to make sure that you get taken care of. If you take nothing else from this video, take that advice, 100%. Number 8, and we're about done. This is going to be really just making that transition easier for you. We've talked about it in other videos. Come here, make friends. Join the Meetup app. Join your local Facebook group. Join a church. Join a sports league. But getting out and making friends and making those connections with people will make your transition here so much easier. I hear so many people that move here and they're lonely because they moved away from all their friends and family. But if you come here and you get out and you meet new people, that transition is so much easier. I see it day in and day out. The people that are the saddest here, or that don't, I guess not saddest, I guess that's the wrong word. The people where the transition is harder for them is they're not getting out there. They're not putting themselves out there to make new friends and make those relationships, or they did not do enough research to understand the area that they were moving to. So just something to keep in mind if you do plan on moving here is getting out and making those friendships really and truly really does help. Also, local groups are fantastic resources for finding people that you may need. If you're a homeowner, even if you're renting, if you're new to an area, you don't know the best restaurants, you don't know the best plumbers, the fence companies, the electricians, yada, yada, yada. Now, your realtor probably will have quite a few vetted resources for you that you can ask them and save yourself a lot of time and energy. But asking in these local Facebook groups is also a great way of doing that as well. So that's all to say. I hope your transition here is smooth and easy for you. And as always, if you have any questions or you have any concerns or you just want to chat with me about the area, my contact information is down below. I'm always happy to help. You're always welcome to join my Moving to Lexington or my Moving to Chapin Facebook groups. And then if you want to see a specific video or you have more questions you want me to do a video about, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I'm always happy to help. So anyway, I've babbled on enough and I'm starting to lose my voice. So I'm going to hop off of here. Until next time,